In a previous video, I salvaged all this lovely timber from some kitchen door and drawer fronts, and I made a project from some of it. But I've still got quite a lot of this wood left, so time for project number 2. And up here, I also have an old travel cot mattress, which gives me an idea. I can also make use of this cotton case. I'll put the foam to one side for use later, and cut this cotton into squares, and I can use these as workshop rags. After running all this timber, which by the way I think is ash, over the planer and then through the thicknesser, here is what I have left to work with. And I'm going to use this to make some nice beds, either for cats or small dogs. This is a really good project for using up shorter lengths of timber. Also, these have always sold well for me in the past. Making them this time though, I'm going to have to do something that's way out of my comfort zone later on in order to make these as practical and as good as I can possibly make them. I'm assembling these rectangles, which are glued and pinned with some 18 gauge nails. These don't need to be particularly strong, as they will get loads more reinforcement as the project progresses. I do want to make sure that they are nice and square though. The next component will be the legs, and each leg will be made up in 2 layers consisting of one longer length and then 2 short lengths, which I cut carefully using the crosscut sled. These shorter pieces will form the inside of each leg. And I'm going to use an offcut as a spacer just to help me position the next pieces, which get measured and cut to length and then also glued and pinned to the inside of the legs. I'll get some filler in to hide the nail holes, get the excess glue scraped away and get them all clamped together. And then later, when they're out of the clamps, I get them trimmed to length. I'm also going to round over all the edges, which proved to be a mistake. More on that later. Now I can get those legs and the rectangles assembled. I found an offcut of sapele which I can use to make the bed rails. Right, I've made a bit of a mistake. My idea for the headboard and footboard of the bed was to basically take a piece of wood and cut out a rebate in each side to mount it to the legs. However, because I've rounded over these internal edges, that's going to leave me with a nasty looking gap. So that idea is out. I do still have these thin pieces though. These pieces are about 9mm thick, and I think I've got an idea for how I can use these instead. After sanding these pieces nice and clean, I cut some pieces to be a really tight friction fit in between the legs. And then I cut another piece that I can laminate to the inside. And I can do the same for both the headboard and the footboard. Once the glue was dry, I can shape these pieces at the bandsaw. These remaining pieces are only about 9mm thick, but they will make great bed slats. These just got pinned in place with no glue. There's just one job left to tackle, and this is the one that's out of my comfort zone. I need to make a mattress, and I want to make one with a removable cover because, as anyone with pets will know, sometimes they have accidents. Before I get onto that though, I wanted to tell you about the sponsor of this video, Woodworkers Guild of America, which is a huge online resource of premium woodworking videos and articles available to stream. I particularly enjoyed one of the video tutorials about how to make a woven seat, something which I've wanted to do for quite a while and a project that I hope to tackle soon. I also saw a great tutorial about how to grain and colour match wood using different conditioners, dyes and finishing products. But there really is something for everyone, with content spanning wood turning, joinery, cabinet making, product design, machine setup, and woodshop tips and tricks, all by professional instructors. You can also attend live stream tutorials and Q&As, and you can connect with other community members. The first 1,000 people to click the link in the description box below or the QR code on screen now will get a full year of premium membership to the Woodworkers Guild of America. This special offer is valid for new members only. What a great deal. Anyway, now back to the workshop. I'm just cutting the foam at the bandsaw, and then I pop to the shed to see what fabric I have. This stuff should look pretty nice. I also have some wadding, and I can use spray adhesive to stick this to the foam, which will make the mattress a little more soft and luxurious. I coat both surfaces, leave them for about a minute until the adhesive goes tacky, and then stick it in place. My idea for the fabric was to basically cut out a large rectangle and then sew up the ends so that they hook over both ends of the mattress. My sewing skills are lacking though, so you're about to see me go through a number of fails and challenges. And I basically fell at the first hurdle, threading the needle. My eyesight isn't what it used to be, and I seem to have lost some dexterity in my hands as well, especially when it comes to fiddly things like this. It took many attempts. When I finally got it threaded, I started sewing up the sides with the fabric turned inside out. You'll see that I also sewed up a hem on the fabric too. This is just to stop the fabric from fraying. Then I could turn it whatever the opposite of inside out is. Inside in? I don't know. And immediately I noticed my next mistake, which was that this area in the middle, which I was planning to sew up another hem on by the way, is going to leave the sides of the mattress hanging out. I really should have figured this out before cutting the fabric. So this is no good, and unfortunately this fabric is now destined for the bin. So let's start again. I bought this nice fleecy blanket with a bunny and teddy embroidered on it from a charity shop for only a couple of quid. I can cut away the embroidery bit, which I didn't want, and there's loads of usable fabric here. So this time I have a better idea of what I need to do, which is to basically cut out the fabric longer so that it can overlap in the centre once it's folded over. I also went and bought one of these needle threader things, which is an excellent time saver. Just poke the wire bit through the eye of the needle, stick the cotton through the wire, and then pull. Whoever invented this is a genius. The best thing about this fleecy fabric, by the way, other than how soft it is that as you can see, it doesn't fray at all, so no need to sew up any hems this time. So I started sewing again, but basically as soon as I started, this happened. Somehow the needle snapped in two, but I still didn't give up. Determined to get this done, I had another go. I also nipped in the corners a bit with the thread, just to kind of round them over a bit. Let's be honest, this looks pretty poor, doesn't it? Oh well, it's always nice to try something new, even if the end results leave a lot to be desired. So I'm going to take these cushions to someone who actually knows what they're doing. Going to go and see my mum. I left the cushions with my mum, who's going to have a go at improving them. And in the meantime, I can get some finish applied to the bed frames. I'm using a hard wax oil product for this, just to pop the grain a bit. And I added my maker's mark. And the following week, I got the cushions back. My mum basically went over my dodgy stitching, and she did a great job. These now look way less lumpy and bumpy. I made 2 of these beds. I think they turned out pretty nice, and if you're interested in buying one for your cat or small dog, there'll be a link in the description box below. Thank you to my mum, and thank you for watching.